Hello, welcome back to another episode of Andy Drinks Beer, the show where Andy drinks beer. Today's beer is Upper Hand Brewery's 906 Ale, representing the 906 up in here, son. Shoot. It does represent the 906 area code. Take 2 seconds to think of where that is. It is Upper, Michigan. It's the Uppers, yeah. So we're trying Upper Hand's offering here. And what I usually do, and recommend you doing this too. Most liquor stores will have a make your own 6-pack thing. And yeah, sometimes they're just trying to unload seasonal inventory. Like you'll see a lot of shandies and stuff in make your own 6-packs now. But they'll usually put some pretty decent stuff and a lot of craft beers that you've never even heard of. And Upper Hand Brewery is one of those. And here's the great thing about the beer renaissance that we're in now. I may have never heard of Upper Hand Brewery, except they may be fantastic. And I'm being introduced to them now. So do that up. Make your own 6-pack out there. So right away, since it's a red ale, you see a nice amber, copper-ish color. Almost almost like golden amber. There we go. The scent, it's very citrusy. You get a lot of the hops, and also you get some faint sweetness, like it's almost like raisiny. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird, but 9.06% alcohol to play off the whole 906 thing. So you can tell this thing's going to have some nuts on it. So let's have our first sip. You like the bitterness, you like the hoppiness. It's got some freshness to it, a lot of citrusy in there as well. And for a red ale, it's a lot stouter than you would expect. Of course, when you think of red ale, you think of like a Killian's Irish Red, but it's got some snooze on it. Like even if you didn't know going in that this is a high gravity beer, this lets you know. This lets you know that you are having a beer, son. This ain't no Michelob Ultra up in here. So our first grading criteria is this crushable or a sipper. I'm gonna say this is a sipper. Like this is almost like a aperitif beer. Like this is almost a beer that you would serve after a meal. And see, I don't know if that fits quite right, but since it is a higher gravity beer, like this would be perfect. Sitting around the fireplace and just talking about life. That's one of those sort of beers, preferably with a nice little cigar going on. Number 2, what food would pair well with this? See, actually going back on this may be a beer best served before. Kind of going back and forth, but like antipasti. So meats, cheeses, olives, nuts. Ooh, dates, bacon wrapped dates. Yeah, paired with this, be amazing going on there. Number 3, what does this remind me of? Well, I mean, since it's a red. Talk about Red Dawn, baby. I'm talking about the original, because the remake does not exist. Because it was terrible. Screw you, Chris Hemsworth. This is Patrick Swayze, Charlie Sheen's movie for life. And I remember watching that as a kid. I'm like, could this really happen? Could the Ruskies really come down in Colorado and face zero resistance from Colorado? Yeah. But, yeah, like tough, thick, just great. And, yeah, Red Dawn. That's the movie this reminds me of. So what memories does this bring back for me? Number 4, what does this remind me of? I keep drifting towards the aperitif, the after dinner beer, mainly because of the high alcohol content. And I think of like when wineries get into the beer game, and they'll do some sort of like brandy infused beer or brandy infused wine, and that's the category that falls into. And the brandy infused wine will end up being like a 14% ABV or something like that. So it's something that you really want to be careful with. And this beer is really good, but like I said, it is definitely something to be careful with. That's why I'm thinking, after you have a nice full belly, and then you start tackling a couple of these beasts, and then go at it right there. Last but not least, our rating scale. On a scale of 1 to 10, Reuben Studdard's 10 being the best, 1 being Reuben Studdard. How does Upper Hand Brewery's 906 Ale stack up? I'm going to go a 9.06 for the 906 Ale. Yeah, just because it's fitting. It goes along with the 9.06% ABV. And it is a good, crisp fall, winter type beer. Like, you can see this at Christmas. Having a couple of these as you're filling up on all the great Christmas goodies. Everyone's going to be packing on a few pounds because it's winter is coming. Yeah, and it's a fantastic beer, and I'm really glad that I picked it up in the Make Your Own 6-pack. And big respect to Upper Hand Brewery, the pride of the Upper Peninsula. Prost. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Like us on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat, all at Andy Carlson Show. I got a burp. Prost.